Second, we're about to have one here too. And that's what it's like late in the afternoon. But it's great because it's a relief to the whole day. Throughout the day, the mugginess and the heat and the stickiness gets a bit unbearable. But afternoon, this is what happens. And it makes the whole thing worthwhile. Tremendous stuff.
Some years the rains will saturate the whole of the top end of Australia, but often it's spasmodic and whole areas will get no relief at all, not a drop, and it remains almost as dry as the desert. Instead of rain out there, you'd be seeing the smoke from bushfires. This year though, the rains have done their job around these parts.
This is an example of one of those bush tuckers that have got a couple of uses, and that makes him pretty special, particularly in this part of the world, because not only can you eat these grapes, and they're absolutely delightful, just like a muscatel. In fact, they're called a native grape. But secondly, you can use them as a bush medicine, because down underneath the ground, you've got the root system. Stuck in me too. And that root system has got a sap in it. That sap was used by Aboriginal people as a cure for death out of bites. I don't know whether it worked or not, and I'm not about to find out. But I reckon it worked, and that's good enough for me. Take these with me. They're beaut.
So, if you're prepared to work for it, you can get a varied diet in the bush. High energy and protein.
Turns out I didn't get a perch in the end. Ended up with a little brim. That's all right. Just as good, I reckon. Righto. Let's see what we're going to do here. Put that over there. Let's get that bit of grass out of there. And here we've got those syzygiums I picked up off that tree. Pretty good looking ones too. What I'm going to do, squash them up a bit, if I can hold on to them, like this. Put them in this thing here. Then I'm going to add some hot water. I'm putting hot water in so it'll exude the taste out of the berries, the fruit here. It's got quite a soury, lemony type taste. And I reckon that hot water, what it does is turns it into a bit of a hot lemon drink. Just squash it up a bit there. Pour him in. There we go. I can even smell it up here. It's drifting right up. I'll put that mug down there. Now I want to strain that out, so I'll put this grass across the top. That's going to be a strainer. I'm just pouring through like this. There we go. Put that over there. We'll try them out. Good. That's not too bad, but you wouldn't want to be chasing up bush tucker out in the bush all the time. Takes you all day to find it. See, the problem is that only some of the tuckers are in season some of the time. And even when you find them on a bush, there's only one or two berries or maybe half a dozen. So you'd spend all your day chasing them up. I've got a job to do as well. So I eat ordinary food, but I supplement it with a bit of bush tucker, maybe a bit of fish here, maybe a bit of barramundi or a mud crab or whatever, and sometimes these berries. You got to get to the berries pretty quick though. Bit of rain, bit of wind, few birds, you miss out. And that's the reason why Aboriginal people had to move and move and move. That's why they were nomadic. But some of these things are really worthwhile. Tomorrow, I'm off down the coast. And by the look of that lightning there, I reckon I'm in for a pretty wet time of it. But right now, I'm going to sit back and watch the show. Travelling west to the coast takes you through these vast areas of wetlands. During the dry season, all the grasses wither and die. The only movement that you'd get then would be the small whirlwinds of dust, the willy-willies. But now it's home to all sorts of species of wildlife, from crocodiles and buffalo all the way through to countless flocks of beautiful magpie geese. The birds and their eggs are a favourite bush tucker with local Aboriginals. Their ancestors used to climb trees and knock the birds out of the sky with throwing sticks as they flew low overhead. Today, the descendants of those people still hold on to that knowledge about bush food and medicine, and they're the people I rely on. Here on the coast, at Waddi community, the person I come to see is Johnny Chula.
Yeah. Hey, Chula. How you been? Very good. Very good? You've been good, yeah. Eh? I haven't seen you for a long time like that.
Johnny Chula is a really good friend of mine. Although he lives in the town, his tribal lands are up on the coast, just north of here. We'll make a trip up to his mangrove country. He's pretty keen to chase up some of his favourite bush tucker. And wherever Johnny goes, his family goes too. The mangroves are Johnny Chula's favourite place, but the mosquitoes and the mud and the rotting wood are enough to put you right off your tucker. Still, I've got to admit, there's plenty of it in here.
Come on now, young fella. Come on. Oh, you bite me, you. You can't bite me, boy. You like? You're holding tight for me, eh?
Yeah, I got it. I'm holding tight.
All right, all right.
You're holding tight for me, mate.
Another one? Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The locals throw these little fellas on the fire just as they are. They're a great meal, and I'd be happy to leave it at that. But hidden in the heart of the mangrove tree is another dainty morsel.
Right the way down.
It's the mangrove or teredo worm.
Okay. Hey.
Okay. Come on, yes.
In fact, it's not really a worm at all. It's a mollusk, which bores its way through the wood. It's been the ruin of many a fine old wooden ship. But there's one way you can get your own back on him. You want him?
You want him?
Where do you go? It's all right. See, big one.
Oh, my taka. My taka.
I don't know how come you're so skinny, Johnny.
Come on, let's go.
A bush tucker trip with Johnny Chula may not be everyone's idea of a bush picnic. But it's friendships like this which keep me coming back to this part of the world. The knowledge that I've been lucky enough to pick up from people like Johnny makes me confident that you could survive and even enjoy the conditions out here for quite a long time. That's if you're prepared to put up with a bit of hardship and be a bit resourceful. If you want to stay perfectly clean and dry and comfortable, then you're better off staying at home. But I reckon that despite all of this, the rewards are tremendous.
I've got myself pretty well squared away here now. I'm going to be pretty comfortable. In fact, I reckon I could see out the wet season. Now that might be a couple of weeks or maybe even a couple of months. When the time comes to leave, I'll be flat out dragging myself away. You know, I get to see a lot of Northern Australia in different places and different areas, all around the traps. But you can never become blasé about it. It simply won't let you.